Welcome to Actual Scale Modelling. This is part 7 of AMT's Star Trek USS Enterprise. Scale is 1 to 650. Now this is the Constitution class ship and I'll be building this as a what if. So not really much to do with Star Trek, just my interpretation of a bit of fun for the build. So in this part I'm going to be concentrating on mixing up the paint for the Tartan design and beginning the painting process. So let's jump into this and see how well I get on. To begin with, I'm mixing up some paints. What I've got here is some normal artist acrylic paint. You can buy these from any artist shop or online, of course. And it's just a simple case of mixing the paints until I get the tone right. Now you can see a couple of different colours of blue here. It's basically, it doesn't really matter because I'm going for a darker blue if possible, and I'll just add a little bit of black to darken up this blue. And of course there's no exact science with this, I'm just going to be adding different tones until I'm happy with the colour. And like you, I thought maybe I've gone a bit too dark, so I'm just adding a little bit more blue to lighten it back up. And as I said, it's just a long process until I get the colour that I want. Now because this is a flat colour, I want to turn it into a metallic or pearlized colour. So I'm using this Pearl X powder. Now this will turn the paint into a sort of shimmering colour, so a pearlized shine to it. This particular powder has got a blue tint to it, and it will actually make the blue go a lot lighter. It's actually quite difficult to gauge how much you need of this to get the shine that you want. So just play around with it if you decide to do this and see how you get on. I'm using quite a large amount here because I'm going to be making up quite a lot of paint. So as you can see there, I've used quite a big scoop. And once it's in, it's just a matter of mixing it up. You can see the pigment changing colour already. If you find it's gone too thick, it will blend in, but you can also add just a little bit of water as well, like that, to soften everything up again. And you should get the consistency you're after. But you can see the colour starting to change now, and you can see the shine coming through. Now I'm trying to get it a little bit more darker, so I'm adding a bit of black paint. So as I've been mixing this, I've decided I really like this shade of blue. I know it's way too light compared to what the pattern is, but I do like the shine on it, so I'm going to keep it like that. So already I'm changing the tartan pattern as such. It's just because I love this how this colour looks, and I don't want to darken it any further. So it's on to the green. The container I'm using for this, by the way, as you can see, it's an old shaving foam cream. I tend to keep these for things like this. The cap is just from a rattle can. Now, I thought I would show you what would happen if I just used the pigment alone with another colour of paint. Remember, the pigment has got a blue tint to it, so even that I'm adding quite a deep green colour here, the pigment is going to go a light blue once I add a little bit of water and mix it up. That again, that is because the amount of tint it's in the actual powder itself. You can buy these powders for all different colours as well. Not blue, you can get green, red, yellows and everything. I only have the blue one for this particular brand. So, but I thought it'd be good to show you, even with the darker colour, you'll see the colour change to a blue. So as you can see there, it's a light blue, so almost a green tint to it, of course, but you can see the blue. So I've got to turn this into green. So in order to do that, I'm going to be using blacks again to darken that blue down, and also using a green pigment. I can also use yellow as well to bring out the green itself, but it's just a matter of mixing and see how you go, and knowing your primary colours for what goes well. So I'm just adding more green here. Now the camera is not picking this up too well. It actually looks blue on camera, but it's actually green at this stage. I don't know why the camera I can't see the blue colour, but it is actually, to the naked eye anyway, it is green. But carry on adding the green pigment a little bit at a time, you can see the colour coming through now to a deeper green, and it's like a metallic green. Next I'm using gallery as iridescent medium. Now this is the same as the Perlex stuff, but the main difference is the Perlex is a powder, this one is a paste. You can see it in the bottom of the container there. It's a sort of a gloopy consistency. Now I'm going to be making up the red colour here, but as I made the red colour up, I went too dark. It was more of a burgundy colour, so I'm not going to use this particular red, but I'll just show you me making it up anyway to see the difference between the paste and the powder of these mediums. And it works exactly the same way. Once you blend it in, it will give it that metallic or pearlized look. And now that I've added my black, I actually added too much black, and as I say, I went too deep a red for the use. I like the colour, but it's just too deep. So I won't be using this one, I'll keep it for something else. And with the yellow, it's just a straight blend with the paste and the pigment itself, nothing major going on. So using the acrylic paint and just blending the paste in until I'm happy with it. As I said at the start, you can add a bit of water to thin this. Try not to use something like Tamiya's X20 because that's for a lacquer-based paint, and all these are water-based acrylics. So it's quite important not to get the two mixed up. So if you're using Tamiya paints, use X20 thinner and not water. It will interact differently with the paint. And that's all the colours made up. As I said, the tones are going to be slightly different from the picture on the screen there of the tartan. That's just because it was directed by the blue that I originally made up there. And also, as I said, I will not be using the red. I'll just use a red straight from one of the modelling paints that I have. It won't be metallic, but once I put the varnish over it, it should be alright, because there's not a lot of it I'm going to be using anyway. So I'll just uncover these and you can see all the different colours. That's the green, believe it or not. As I say, the camera doesn't really pick it up well. That's the red I will not be using, and of course that's the blue that I will be using. Time to paint, but as you can see, the soft sections change colour. I've put on a red primer for this. I just thought the red would lend better to the blue colour that I'm putting on. Now I'm trying to put this paint on as thin as possible. The red primer will help with any light bleed as well with any luck, but this is going to need quite a few coats of this paint to bring out the blue colour. So thin coats all the way, like it should be on everything that you paint. Anyway, as you can see there, I'm using a flat, large brush to put the pigment on. This just helps with the coverage. So I think the colours blend in quite well to the model. I'll just tip it up in a little bit so that you can see the shimmer with the iridescent powder in it. So if the light bounces off, okay, the paint's still wet at the moment, so you're always going to get a bit of a glare, but you can see the shimmer from the effect coming through. So as you can see there, that's the one section of the paint laid down. As I said, I'll need a couple of coats, but it's going to need a good 48 minutes to an hour to soft dry before I put another coat on. And it's the same with the hull as well. And of course the water nacelles are getting the same colour. Now remember, I've masked areas off it as well so that I don't get any paint onto the areas where I want to keep bare plastic for the lights to shine through. And this is where I'll leave parts. I mean, this is, as I said, it's going to take a good little while for this to dry before the next coat. So I may as well leave the build log here. And plus the fact, if you notice some of the wires are lying over the paint stupidly, so I'm going to have to clean all that up. But there you go. I've always been a bit messy when it comes to things like that. So anyway, if you haven't done so already, why don't you go and check the channel and see there's something there that you may enjoy watching. And while you're there, subscribe to the channel, and if you do so, hit the notification bell. That way you'll be kept up to date, not only with this build of course, but any future builds that I've got planned. Hit the like button, don't be afraid to leave a comment, and of course you can share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.